Hello friends, we have so far been considering the different techniques that are being employed in the process of comminution. Now generally when you consider the processes that principally dictate the fragmentation of the particles, those can be categorized into two. One is crushing and the other is grinding. So each have their own distinctive features. In addition to that, in the previous lectures we saw that there is another technique that is being employed that even though does not fragment a given particle or does not reduce the size of a given particle, it equally plays a critical role in the process of comminution. Now the process of comminution, the process chain that is rather adhered to during comminution, it comprises of an open circuit and a closed circuit, and this technique that does not involve fragmentation is a part of this closed circuit. And this closed circuit, it comprises of two fragmentation technique, that is tertiary crushing and grinding. And in order to ensure that the right particles are fed into the tertiary crushing and the right particles are fed into grinding, we use a technique called as screening. Now we saw in the previous lecture what are the features that are involved in the process of screening. Now in this lecture we will consider some of the practical aspects of it. So essentially this lecture would be a part of the laboratory course on process process metallurgy. Essentially what we will be looking into in this lecture will be the practical aspects of screening. So one critical feature of the screening process is that it is rather employed on an industrial scale. Now we saw in our previous discussion for the process metallurgy lab, there is a similar process that is employed in the laboratory scale, that is sieving. So sieving does the same, or principally sieving also separates the mixture of particles with different sizes based on their size. So when you have or when you feed in a mixture of particles with varying sizes, what sieving does is it categorizes particles based on their size. Even though sieving essentially does what screening does, sieving is rather restricted to the laboratory setup. It has several components to it, it has several sieves attached to it, and you are able to rather categorize more than one or two forms of particles based on their sizes. Now the way screening is different is the screening that we are focused on is rather employed on a commercial purposes, and it is employed on an industrial scale. And it means the amount of feed that the screening receives is considerably greater than what you usually associate with that of the sieving process. So sieving is something that we looked into in our previous discussion, few discussions before on the process metallurgy lab. Now we are focusing on screening, and the best way to start looking into the practical aspects of screening is by considering the level at which it is being employed. So the screening is largely employed on an industrial scale. So therefore, even though there are principally some similarity between sieving and screening, essentially both these processes separate the mixture of particles based on their sizes, considering that screening is rather adopted on an industrial scale, the way the screening process is built, the equipment that is used for screening is built, is quite different from that of sieving, which is largely employed in a laboratory setting. Now if you could recollect, the screening comprises of a screen that is rather inclined, and the mixture of fragments that is rendered by the tertiary or a secondary crusher is being fed into this inclined screen. Now the sophistication associated with this inclined steel, or rather inclined screen, comes with the vibration that is included in this setting. So what essentially you have is you have a combination of inclination of the screen wherein you feed in your mixture of the fragmented particles, and the screen is allowed to vibrate. Now if you could recollect, the way the screening process, the way the screening is established, or the way the screening is achieved, the way the feed that is being introduced onto the screen is separated, it comprises of two different processes. One is stratification, the other is separation. Now the stratification, it rather involves the interaction between the mixture of particles that is fed onto the surface of the screen, whereas the separation is the interaction between the particles and the surface of the screen that comprises of apertures or openings. So combination of these processes, that is stratification and separation, this combination is what ultimately leads to the process of screening. So in order to establish screening, you need to have an efficient degree of stratification and the efficient degree of separation. Now stratification is again the interaction between the particles that you feed in. So particles, they are of different sizes and shapes, and these particles should interact with each other in order to ensure that all the particles have a chance to interact with the screen. So only when all the particles have a chance to interact with the screen, the separation is possible. If there are some particles that they do not interact with the screen, then there is no separation possible. So what I mean by interact with the screen, all the particles should at some point should reach the surface of the screen, that is they should reach the aperture, that is they should reach the opening. So naturally the feed that you provide for the screening, or the feed that you that reaches the screen, comprises of the combination of large particles, so there should be, and small particles, and owing to their sizes, the large particles, they are naturally prone to settle on the surface of the screen, whereas the small particles are not as preferred. So relatively they are not as preferred as that of the large particles. So your feed to that of the screening process, it comprises of large and small particles. The large particles, because of their size, they naturally settle on the surface of the screen. So that means they have higher probability or higher chances of interacting with the aperture. Again, the smaller particles, owing to their sizes, they do not often, or they are not usually preferred, they do not have the size advantage to reach the surface of the screen. So therefore, essentially, when left on its own, what is not possible is the small particles are not allowed to interact with the openings or the apertures. Now, in order to ensure that all these particles get the chance to interact with the opening, all the particles, irrespective of the sizes, if they are naturally preferred or not, they are allowed to reach the surface of the screen, we introduce both the inclination and also vibration. So therefore, by the combination of this inclination, so this is, if we consider this as your ground surface, this is the angle of inclination. By the combination of inclination and the vibration, we ensure that all the particles get a chance to interact with the surface of the screen, and they get to interact particularly with the openings of the apertures. Now, once this particle reach the apertures, these particles need the interaction between these particles and the apertures mean that they are allowed, irrespective of their shapes, they are allowed, if their size is small, they are allowed to pass through the openings. So essentially, screening focuses on the size of the particles. If a given particle is greater than the size of the aperture, then the particle should pass through the screen. If not, the particle stays on the surface of the screen. It is possible that a given particle for a given orientation is larger in size than the aperture. In a different orientation, it is smaller in size. In order to bring about the change in the orientation such that the smaller sized particles are allowed to fall through the aperture, the vibration plays a key role. So in industrial screening, you have two critical components, inclination and vibration. The inclination and vibration, they ensure that the stratification and separation, two different processes, two different events that contribute to the screening, is efficiently achieved. Now, in addition to this, the inclination also ensures that automatically, because of their sizes and because of the inclination, the particles, the large size particles, are automatically collected at the end of the screen. So unlike CV, wherein you have to manually collect the large size particles, or you have to manually, even though the sieve collects the sieve distinguishes the different particles, you have to manually collect it in case of screening because it is employed on an industrial scale. Because of the inclination, the large size particles, they get naturally collected at the end of the screen. So essentially what you have is you have two different processes, two different events from the perspective of the particles and the screen, and two different events they interact, or these two different events, the interplay of these two different events, they ultimately constitute or they contribute to the process of screening, wherein the large size particles are separated from the small size particles. Now one other advantage of these characteristic features of screening, that is inclination and vibration, is that the vibration ensures that the small size particles are allowed to fall through. The particles, even with the size that is close to that of the size of the opening, they are allowed to pass through. Meaning, we saw in our previous lecture, in one of the lecture we saw, there are something referred to as the near mesh particles. So these near mesh particles, they have a size that is close to that of the aperture opening. So what this near mesh particle does is they occupy the opening, thereby allowing or thereby preventing any further particles to interact with them. So you have a particle size that is close to that of the opening, and this particle, because of its closeness to opening, it blocks, it neither moves above or it neither moves away from the opening, or it neither moves below or it neither passes through the opening. Since the size of this particle is close to that of the opening, it just blocks the opening without passing through or without moving away from it. So this closing up of the opening, this reduction in, so when you have several such near mesh particles closing up these openings, what you essentially have is you are reducing the total number of apertures that are present on the surface of the screen. So therefore the efficiency of the overall screening is reduced. Now in order to remove this near mesh particles, the vibration again plays a key role. So when you consider the industrial screening process, there are two characteristic features, and these two characteristic features are inclination and vibration. They play a critical role in bringing about an efficient screening process, in bringing about or increasing the efficiency of the screening process. Now when we described the process of screening, only one definitive statement that we use is that the particles that are greater than the size of the sieve, they stay above the screen, and the particles that are less, or the size of which, or the particles with size that are less than that of the openings, they pass through the screen and they are collected below. Now, even though this is rather a direct way or a simplistic way of expressing what is happening during the screening process, we saw there are two separate events, two specific events, two separate events that essentially contribute to this process of screening. Even though holistically when you step back and see the screening process, it is rather straightforward. When you look closely, there are two distinct events that brings about the screening. Now these two distinct events, they are in no shape or form definitive. They depend on the interaction between particles, and you have particles of varying sizes, and therefore they cannot be rather defined or described in a definitive manner. And the same goes for separation, particularly because you have near mesh particles that tend to occupy or tend to rather block a given opening or a given aperture. So therefore, even though when you consider the screening process as a whole, it looks rather straightforward, the separation of larger particles from smaller particles, and this difference is made by the opening of the aperture or the size of the aperture. When you look closely, you have these different events, the combination of these different events that brings about screening, and these events are far from having a definitive description associated with it. So essentially these events, what they are is they are in some sense random, and they hugely deal with probability. So because of these events that contribute, so because of these events that constitutes the screening process, because these events constitute the screening process, even though holistically screening can be rather expressed in a simplistic manner, when you consider the screening event through these separate, or the overall screening process through these separate events, then the screening appears to be a random or a probabilistic process. So meaning these events, they involve interaction of fragments of different shapes, and they also involve the interaction of the fragments of different shape with that of the aperture, and there can so given that there are numerous particles that are involved, and these numerous particles are of varying sizes, it is rather not easy for us to have a definitive description of these two different events. So therefore screening as a whole that comprises of these two different events cannot be described in a definitive manner, so it can only be described in a probabilistic way. So what we mean by probabilistic way, or why, or the consequence of having a process that is random or that has some component of randomness associated with it. When you have a process that can only be described in a probabilistic manner, one rather consequence of having such a process is it is difficult for us to say that a particle or a mixture of particles of a size, or a mixture of particles when fed into the screening process, the particles of size less than this particular value will completely be separated from the particles of size greater than this particular value. Now supposing you imagine that the radius, the screen comprises of apertures of constant radius or diameter d. Now when we say that we have a screen that comprises of apertures with constant diameter d, it means that in an ideal world, when the screening process is definitive, all the particles with diameter less than d will be separated from that of all the particles with size greater than d. So when the size is greater than d, it stays on the surface of the screen, whereas the particles with size less than d, they are separated. So essentially what we have is, when your process is definitive, when your process is rather definite, when it is there is no randomness associated with it, you are not talking in terms of probability, then in that case, if you have a screen of a specific size, then all the particles that are less than this particular size of the aperture, they get collected, and all these particles that are greater than the size of the aperture, they stay on the surface of the screen. However, since the whole process of screening is rather random, or it comprises of a certain degree of probability associated with it, such ideal separation cannot be achieved. So essentially again, we are talking about a screening process that is employed on an industrial scale, and this screening process has two critical features: inclination and vibration. And in this screening process, the screening process is established by combination of two events. These two events, the critical events that constitute this screening process, they are random and probabilistic in nature, and because of this event, the whole screening process is probabilistic. And now what we mean by probabilistic is, despite having definite events contributing to the screening, despite having an easier way of looking into or describing the overall process of screening, because of the randomness associated with this, because of the probability associated with it, it is not possible, it is not physically possible, this is a critical point, this is not physically possible for us to achieve an ideal separation. So even though there is a specific sized aperture present on the surface of the screen, it is physically impossible for us to say that during this industrial screening process, the particles with size greater than this aperture will be separated from the particles with size lower than this aperture. Again, this is because the whole process of screening is probabilistic in nature, and it comprises or it constitutes some amount of randomness to it, or there is some degree of randomness associated with it. Now, when we have such a process which is rather probabilistic in nature, and even though from an holistic standpoint, when you consider the overview of the process, it is possible for us to state that this process separates one sized particles of a specific size from that of the other, even though it is easy for us to state that, given that the events that constitute this process, the events that make this process feasible, they are probabilistic in nature, they are random in nature. There is no ideal separation possible. So in that case, the way for us to quantify the separation is by considering the efficiency of screening. So we want to discuss in terms of, or we want to talk about the efficiency of industrial screening. Now, the reason one needs to talk about efficiency is because the ideal separation is not physically possible. It's not possible. Had it been possible, then there is no need for talking about the efficiency of a given process. So there are several ways. So we have to have an industrial screening process that is efficient in nature, that is highly efficient. So there are several ways for us to improve upon the efficiency of this process. So what we mean by improving upon the efficiency of the process, we mean that the events that contribute to the screening process, when we increase the probability of the events. So we have two events, that is stratification and separation. When we increase the probability of these events, and thereby we can increase the overall probability of the screening. So we can increase the overall probability of screening by increasing the probability of these two events. We can increase the overall probability of the screening, meaning then we can make the whole process more efficient. Now there are several ways of increasing it. So there are several ways of quantifying the screening process and quantifying the way or the increased probability, or ensuring that the probability of stratification and separation is increased. So there are several ways of doing it. One way to do that, or one rather straightforward way of ensuring that the probability of stratification and separation is increased, is to ensure that sufficient amount of time is spent by the particles on the surface of the screen. So when the particles are fed onto the screen, so we need to ensure that the sufficient amount of time is spent by the particle on the surface of the screen, so that the interaction between these particles and the interaction between the particles and the screen is adequately allowed. So when we want to ensure that the sufficient amount of time is spent by the particles on the surface of the screen, so one way of doing that is reducing the amount of feed, or reducing the rate at which you feed in your particle. That is one way of doing it. And other ways of doing it is playing around with or working around with the angle of inclination. So one is the feeding rate, the other is the angle of inclination, the other is also vibration. So there are several ways that one can ensure that the probability of these events that ultimately contribute to screening increases. Now when you fix these parameters, you need to understand, or you need to quantify, what is the probability that you have achieved thus far. So you build an industrial screening setup, and in that industrial screening setup, now with these parameters, that is with the parameter of a specific feed and a specific angle of inclination and the specific degree of vibration, the specific level of vibration, you need to know how much efficient or how much probability does, or how much increase in the probability you have achieved, or how much probable is this process of, or this events of stratification and separation is achieved. So you need to know how much are you able to screen this process, or how much or how efficient is your screening process. Only after knowing that, you can make changes to these factors in order to increase its efficiency. So when you build on an industrial scale, when you build a screening setup, you need first to know how is the degree of, or how much is the screening is being done. So what is the degree of screening that is achieved for your given screening setup. So you are in an industrial scale setting, and you are building up, or you are setting up a screening equipment, and you have fixed the feed rate, you have fixed the angle of inclination, and you have fixed the vibration rate. Now once you have fixed all those, in order to make any improvements, you need to know what is the screening, or the amount of screening that is achieved, the degree of screening that is achieved for these combinations of factors. Only when you are sure about the amount of, or the degree of screening that is achieved for this combination of factors, only when you are sure about it, you will be able to make any improvements, or you will be able to take these factors in order to bring about these changes, or increase the screening process, or increase the level of screening. So in order to do that, for a given setup with this combinations of factors, with this given three factors, you need to know, you need to quantify the level of the screening that is achieved. And this way, or a way to quantify the level of screening that is achieved, is what we refer to as the efficiency of industrial screening. So for a given setup, if you want to know the degree of screening that is achieved, then you go for calculating the, or you go about by calculating the efficiency of industrial screening. Now efficiency again is a generalized term, or it's a rather commonly used term, and it is expressed in this manner: eta is the ratio of the output that you get to that of the input. So the description for the efficiency is rather straightforward. So it's the ratio of the output to that of the input. Now again, the reason we need to understand the efficiency is because for a given setup we need to know about the level of screening that is achieved. Only when you know that, you will be able to make some improvements to it. Supposing for a given setup, for the given combination of feed rate, angle of inclination and vibration, if you are able to achieve certain degree of efficiency or certain degree of screening, once you change this, you need to ensure that the new degree of screening is much greater than the old degree. So we cannot just talk in these qualitative terms, old degree and new degree. You need to have a specific way of quantifying it, and that way of quantifying this efficiency, or that way of quantifying the degree of screening, is the efficiency. Now when we talk about the output for a conventional screening process is the amount of particles that you are able to separate. So the purpose of the screening in a conventional manner is to provide feed for the grinding process, is to provide feed for the subsequent process in the comminution. So that is, you have the screening process is placed between tertiary crusher and that of grinding. Now what essentially the screening does is it ensures that the right particles are fed into the grinding. So it means the particles that are less than the size of the aperture are the desired output for the conventional screening. So for conventional screening, the whole purpose of which is to feed the right particles to that of the grinding process, is the output then is the particles that have sizes that are lesser than that of the apertures. So the output, the desired output for the conventional screening is the particles with size less than that of the aperture. So these are often referred to as the undersized particles. So essentially the desired goal or the desired output is the separation of this undersized particle from that of the oversized particles. So you have oversized particles and undersized particles, you need to separate the undersized particles. Now when you consider the feed, it is a mixture of both the undersized particles and the oversized particles. The feed, as on an industrial scale, it is referred to as the amount of the mixture of particles that you provide for a unit time. So therefore it has the unit of tons per hour. Now this feed, it comprises of the combination of undersized and the oversized particles, and they have the same unit. So this feed, the overall feed, is the combination of undersized particle and oversized particles, and in addition to F here, the oversized and the undersized, they share the same unit, that is tons per hour. So we are able to, through screening, we are able to separate this as undersized and oversized particle. Now we saw that because the whole process of screening is probabilistic, not all the undersized particles are separated during the process of screening. Now all the undersized particles, even though they are fed onto the surface of the screen, they are not separated completely. So had they been separated completely, had the process been able to separate it completely, then what essentially you would have is an ideal separation. If all the undersized particles are separated from that of the oversized particles, then what you essentially would have is ideal separation. But this ideal separation, we saw it is not possible because the screening is a probabilistic process. So therefore what we have is some portion of the undersized particles, it get stuck with that of the oversized particles. So some portion of the undersized particle that needs to be separated, it gets stuck to that of the oversized particles, because the overall process is overall screening process is a probabilistic one. So in order to distinguish that, let us introduce fractions of the undersized particles. So you have a fraction of the undersized particles that is present in the feed, a fraction of the undersized particle that is present with the undersized particle, that is separated along with the undersized particle, and a fraction of the undersized particle that is separated by mistake, or rather unfortunately, along with the oversized particles. So you have a fraction of the undersized particles that is present in the overall feed. This fraction of the undersized particles that is present along with the overall feed is rather it is rather, as we desire, separated along with some fraction of it is separated along with the undersized particle. However, unfortunately, given that the whole process is probabilistic in nature, you have some fraction of this undersized particles getting attached to that of the oversized particles. So when you include this, so fraction, it means that similar to that of the percentage, it means the amount of the undersized particles that is present in the the amount of the undersized particles that is present in the entire mixture. So that is what we mean by fraction. So the fraction is similar to that of the percentage, but it's just not multiplied by 100 to bring about the percentage, the feature of the percentage, but rather it is just treated as a fraction in such a way that sum of these all will be equal to 1. So essentially, you have a fraction of the input feed that comprises of the undersized particle, and some fraction of this undersized particle is rightfully being collected along with the undersized particle, and some fraction of it is unfortunately being gathered up with the oversized particle. Now, this expression along with these different fractions, it can be expressed as this contributes the fraction multiplied by the overall, the combination of the fraction along with the overall feed will give you the amount of the undersized particles that is present in the feed. The combination of the fraction of the undersized particle along with the undersized feed, it will give you the amount of undersized particles that are collected, and the combination of the fraction of the oversized particle along with the amount of oversized particles that is collected, it will give you the amount of the undersized particles that are unfortunately being gathered or undesiredly being gathered along with the oversized particles. So these fractions, they don't have any unit, and these, they have a unit of 10 power r. So essentially this expression is now translated to this expression, considering now we have the fraction of, so this is just a summation expression. Now we have categorized the fraction of the undersized particles that are collected, and we have now an expression that talks about, or that considers, or a term that considers the undersized particles that are gathered along with the oversized particles. Now the efficiency is the ratio of the output by input. Now our desire is to find out how much of the available undersized particles is being separated. So our input is the available undersized particle, and the output is how much of this undersized particle have we separated. So that is what our efficiency is. So efficiency cannot be the overall feed and the amount of, in this case the efficiency cannot be the undersized particles and that of the overall feed. So efficiency, it needs to consider our desired output. The desired output is the undersized particles, and the input should be the amount of this undersized particles, not the entire feed, but the amount of this undersized particles that are fed in. Now this expression helps us to distinguish the amount of the undersized particles that are fed in and the amount of the undersized particles that are gathered along with the other undersized particles, and the amount of the undersized particles that are unfortunately being gathered with the oversized particles. So essentially this expression here, it talks about the amount of the undersized particles that are present in the feed, and this term here, it talks about the amount of the undersized particles that are present in the feed, and this term here, it talks about the amount of undersized particles that are separated, and this term here, it talks about the amount of undersized particles that are rather undesiredly removed along with the oversized particle. Now when you look closely, this term here is our input. We are not interested in all the mixture or all the overall feed that comprises of both undersized and oversized particle. We are exclusively focused on our desired input, that is the amount of the undersized particles that are fed on to the screening process. And our desired output that we get is the fraction that is separated, the amount of undersized particles that is separated. So this will act as our input, not F, because F comprises of both oversized and undersized particle, but the input, desired output, since it is largely focusing on the separation of the undersized particle, the input should be the amount of undersized particles that is fed in. So therefore this will act as our input and this here will act as our output. So therefore the overall efficiency of the screening process will be the ratio of our output to that of the ratio of our input. So this is what, or this is how rather, we quantify the efficiency of a screening or the conventional screening process. Now this efficiency formulation will vary depending on the screening we are interested in. In this case, we are interested in separating the smaller size particle and therefore we have the specific expression for the efficiency or the efficiency of the screening process. Because we are interested in the particles or the undersized particles, we have this expression here. If, like in case of scalping, if you are interested in the oversized particles, again the scalping, it adopts the approach similar to that of the screening. However, in scalping, the desired goal is to categorize or is to gather the oversized particles. Then in that case, the efficiency or the expression for this efficiency changes. Here in that case, the output or the desired output will be the oversized particles. So the expression for the efficiency changes with what type of screening you are interested in. When you are interested in screening the undersized particle, here we have the expression for the efficiency of that specific screening process, and depending on the screening process you consider the expression for the efficiency varies. Now what you essentially have in this term is the combination of fractions and also a combination of the feed rates or the collection rate. So you have combination of two different variables or two different parameters. We have fractions, that is small u and small f. These are fractions, they are dimensionless in nature. You have variables or factors that have a specific unit associated with them. Now it is possible from this expression here, that is from this expression here, it is possible for us to get rid of these two different terms here. So it is possible for us from this expression here to get rid of the rate terms rather here. So meaning when you consider this expression and you have this expression as well. So what essentially you can do is you can replace this O here with that of this O here will be F minus U, and you can replace the O here with this term, and it is possible for us to get rid of both U and V and arrive at an expression wherein the efficiency is equal to U and so it is possible by the combination of the expressions 1 and 2 to arrive at or to express the efficiency in a way that does not include the different rates. So the efficiency can be expressed in a way that does not include the rate terms, and purely by considering the fractions alone you are able to express the efficiency. So again, depending on the type of screening, so depending on this type of screening you are focusing on, be it scalping or be it removing of the grinding media, be it removing of the dust, you could make certain approximations for the amount or the fraction of the undersized particles that is present and the fraction of the oversized particles that are present. Now for instance, if you are considering a highly efficient process, then the fraction of the undersized particle that are removed along with the actual undersized particles, this U here will be close to that of 1. And if you are considering a least efficient process, then this here will be close to that of 0. So certain approximations can be made, certain rather simplistic approximations can be made for this expression here, and then those can be introduced here and the overall efficiency can be accurately calculated. So these expressions for efficiency can be employed for different processes. So we saw these expressions for efficiency can be employed for different processes. It can be used for conventional screening, for scalping, for removal of grinding media, and also for the removal of dust. Or for all these processes, and the removal of fines, for all these processes, we can use this expression for efficiency to calculate the level of screening that has been achieved. However, we need to know that what is our desired product. So in case of scalping, our desired product is the oversized particles or the separation of the large size particles. So that needs to be included as our desired output. So essentially, these expressions for efficiency are generalized one, and it can be made specific depending on the screening process we are interested in. And secondly, it is possible for us to make reasonable assumption about these fractions. It is possible for us to make reasonable assumption about these fractions that are being gathered, the fraction of the undersized particles that are being gathered, and then substitute those assumptions in this expression for efficiency, and thereby making this expression more specific. So what we have here is, we have arrived at two different generalized expression for the efficiency, one with rate involved and one purely or exclusively based on the fractions. And once you are able to arrive at this generalized expression for efficiency, then it is possible for us to make this generalized expression into more specific by considering appropriate input and appropriate output. You can make these generalized expression more specific by considering appropriate input and appropriate output. In addition to that, it is possible for us to make rather reasonable assumptions, like here. So this would be for a more efficient process, and this will be for a less efficient process. So it is possible for us to make reasonable assumption and substitute those values into this expression for efficiency, thereby making it more specific. So these generalized expression, irrespective of the role of screening in the overall communication process, help us specifically quantify the level of screening that is achieved. So the centralized expression can be employed for any number of screening processes. It can be employed for scalping, conventional screening, removal of fines, removal of dust, and removal of grinding media. So whenever you are attempting to make these generalized expressions more specific, considerable or reasonable or appropriate input and appropriate output should be considered. And in the same way, it can also be made specific by reasonably assuming the fraction that is removed and the fraction that is rather undesirably removed along with the oversized particles. So with this, I would like to wind this lecture up. So what we have seen is, we have seen the overall industrial screening process, and we have seen ways we can estimate the efficiency of the screening process, and the way we can arrive at the generalized expression, and based on this expression, how it is possible for us to make it more specific to our given process. So this is the purpose of our exclusively studying the industrial screening as a part of process methodology, because the understanding the efficiency of a screening process play a critical role in an industrial scale wherein you are devising a screening equipment. And after achieving, or from this generalized expression, it is possible for us to derive the specific expression through appropriate input and output and through appropriate approximation. So with this, I would wind this lecture up, and from the next lecture onwards, we will consider a new form of or new technique that is involved in the process of the mineral processing as a whole. Goodbye.